Squadron out of Borden. Flying today, Captain Jeff McKenzie, Captain Will Fielding, Flight Engineer, Master Corporal Bert Acoyne, and with us, Rick, we're very, very lucky to have Captain Lyle Holbrook, who has flown that helicopter as well out of Borden. Captain Lyle, come on over here and let's talk a little bit about exactly what happens, what kind of use the Griffon has, talk a little bit about your experience flying it. Captain Lyle.
Absolutely. Right now the Griffon is showing you some of the maneuverability of the aircraft, doing a little bit of sidewards flight. People hopefully saw them wave there a second ago. These guys are not only squadron mates but good friends of mine. One little anecdote, I'd like to mention that Jeff McKenzie, the flying pilot today, his grandfather was hoping to be here today but had other engagements. He's a Korean War veteran, so it runs in the family with Jeff. Will is okay. A little bit more about 400 Squadron. We're located at Borden, as Howard said. We come down to Kitchener quite often for instrument approaches. They have a ILS, or instrument landing system here, that we don't have in Borden, so it's handy for us to come down here. It's about a 20-25 minute flight. So we use the Kitchener airport quite a lot, and it's really good for us to be able to pay back to the community what we come down here and use fairly frequently.
And Lyle, you've flown in Afghanistan. You've been back for about 9 months, and we'll tell a story about Will Fielding in a second. The Griffons were an important part of the Afghan mission.
Absolutely. Quite a while ago, our government decided that our troops needed our own aircraft to transport them around. So we purchased 6 Chinook helicopters over in Afghanistan, and they needed protection. So we modified the Griffon. It was the CH-146B. And it was lightened up with a lot of its unnecessary electronics for over there, and guns added, and we actually escorted the Chinooks pretty much everywhere they went.
Now, you were fortunate to come back on par with the Captain Will Fielding, who is the second pilot on board today. Has served in the military for 21 years, completed 2 tours in Afghanistan. In 2010, he was shot down in Afghanistan while flying a Chinook helicopter on a combat mission. He became the first Canadian pilot since World War II to be shot down in combat. And for his actions that day, he became the first Air Force member to ever be awarded the MMV, or Medal of Military Valor. A big extra wave and applause today for this brave crew flying the CH-146 Griffon.
And actually, Howard, I'd also like to make mention that Bert Acoyne, the flight engineer, also did 2 tours in Afghanistan, but not in a Griffon helicopter. He was actually with the infantry, and boy, those guys, that was a tough job. So hats off to Bert as well for what he does, and for what Captain Jeff McKenzie is doing as well, whose family is here, by the way, today. So a big hello to Jeff McKenzie's family.
Pirouetting while this helicopter around and around it goes. When you fly an airplane, your hands are on the control, your feet on the pedals, but there's all sorts of extra things that helicopter pilots have to do to control the rotating wings. Just give me an idea of how hard he's working right now to have this helicopter move, maintain altitude, and pirouette all the way down the runway.
Yeah, absolutely. It's they're having a handful right now. The aircraft wants to weathercock as well. In other words, the tail wants to stay downwind of the helicopter. So for a little while, you're putting a whole bunch of tail rotor input on one side, and then as you get around the other side of the wind, it wants to fling the tail around the other side. So they're making it look easier than it is, for sure.
Amazing.
As well, Lyle, yesterday you were telling us when the guys are going backwards, there's no rear view mirrors in this helicopter, are there?
No, not at all. That's what one of the many duties that Master Corporal Bert Acoyne does. He's got the right side door open. We can't see it when he's going down that way, but the right door is open. He's looking behind the helicopter at all times with his head sticking out, making sure that they're not going to run into anything backwards.
As he spirals down, and we mentioned that the wings on a helicopter rotate, that's how it gets its lift. it's also beating that air toward the ground, big winds underneath, but what happens if the helicopter gets caught in that downwash, Lyle?
Yeah, it's a constant adjustment as they come around. Also, it's like a maple key. If a maple key's coming down, it comes down at a certain speed, but when you're trying to force it down even faster, your rotor RPM will pick up speed as well, so you got to be constantly monitoring that as well.
The Mako Shark is taxiing by. That's coming up in just a few moments. Pete McLeod too, and on stage at center stage now, the Griffon helicopter with a wave to you, left and right, wave back to our rather brave